What is going on? And good morning. Happy Friday, everybody in the chat. What's up? Mr. Yankee, we have Ninja Kid here. What's up, dude? Chris, Hanley, Overboard Tech, Integra Guy, Steven Cicero, Ninja Kid. I already said that. Let's see. Solar Miner, Leo Lusting, Rashad. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Never seen you before. Let's see. Mr. Matt Electron. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're having a good Friday at work. Dom G, who else? Mr. Rud Puts, good afternoon. And Alexander. All right, let's see. If I missed anybody else, I apologize, but good to see you. Sloth Squash, what's up, buddy? All right, let's see how the market's looking today. It looks fantastic. Look at this. Look at this. 30,850. Holy hell. And ETH is holding over 2,100. Doge, 9 cents. Look at this. 9 cents. LTC, 96 bucks. XRP 53 cents. God damn, that's crazy. Retro Mike, what's up? My favorite troll. Oh, I don't hate you, I promise. Look at this. Crypto bubbles. What's the winner of the month? Let's see. Caspa's still in first. This FTT, man, I can't believe people are that stupid to invest back into that. But anyways, that's a conversation for another day. Fear and Greed Index 68. We have top 10 coins: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Lido Staked Ether, and Polygon in 10th. Nice. And we have a couple of articles I would like to go over here. But if you guys have any questions, obviously, happy Friday. And if you guys have any, anything to say, just at me in the chat. That would be the easiest way to do it. All in on FTX, you would be. FTX, all in on FTX reopening. That would be the worst thing on the planet if that actually happened. Leo Lusting, let's see. Ouch, hate turbulence. Oh yeah, what are you? Where are you? You leaving? You going somewhere? Let's see. Leo Lusting, it was good except for the last 20 minutes of the flight. Lots of turbulence. Oh, Steven Cicero, I forgot you were on vacation. All right, let's see what we have here today. Bitcoin price spikes above 31K as Ethereum gains spark altcoin, alt season calls. Bitcoin and Ethereum lead a wave of excitement over future crypto gains, with analysis concluding that the bottom is in. That would be interesting. What do you guys think? You think the bottom's in? Think the bottom's in for everything? Or do you think we're going to see like, I don't know, say like closer to 50K and then have it come back down? Dr. Electronics, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Analysis I, potential dip under 30,000. It says data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView captured new 10-month highs of $31,035 for BTC on Bitstamp. I didn't see it hit 31,000, but when I read this, I was like, ooh, that's nice. It actually broke above 31. All right, it says the pair had risen gradually the day before after a consolidatory period around new macroeconomic data prints from the United States. It says these had furthered the bullish risk asset narrative, with the consumer price index and producer price inflation prints showing inflation slowing faster than expected. While Bitcoin did not react immediately, the latest uptick reinforced market participants' convictions over continued strength and a break with the long-term downtrend. Yankee in the chat said, do you know what BitConnect was? BitConnect. No. Do I know what BitConnect was? I don't. I know there's this place was hacked. I don't know if you guys know what BitTrue is. Is this something what you're talking about? Maybe. I don't know. This is a exchange that was hacked, or the hot wallet was hacked. Anyways, continuing, it says Bitcoin looks strong, but will have some shallow connections in an upward trend. Michael Van de Pope, founder and CEO of trading firm 8, forecasted on the day. In quotations, it says, I marked 31.7 to 32K as important resistance point. However, 25K was the level everyone wanted to buy. This will probably shift to 28.5 and then nobody buys. I'd prefer to focus on 29.7. So that's interesting. I don't think I'm going to read through this anymore, actually. It's just a bunch of trader nonsense. Everybody's claiming different things, right? Let's see. I don't think any of this is actually worth reading. It's really not. Anyways, I don't know if you guys saw Altcoin Daily's video, but as always, they are very interesting. BitConnect was a smaller FTX. Interesting. I've never used it. I never used FTX either, so I wasn't really caught in that bullshit. Oh, that makes sense. Back in 2017 and 2018, Yankee said, yeah, I'm not, I've only been into, I got into crypto, when Bitcoin got upwards of, actually right after the 20K, right after that bull run, right? So I was in after that period. So yeah, I wouldn't have been involved with that. All right, let's see what Mr. Altcoin Daily has to say, and then we will jump into some other news and see. Guys, I'll leave a link to this down in the description below. Feel free, go check them out. Altcoin Daily is amazing. If you guys have any questions, just add me in the chat during this. Let's do it.
Twitter just partnered with eToro and will let users trade stocks and crypto as Elon Musk pushes his app into finance. Starting Thursday, Twitter will give users the option to buy and sell stocks and other assets from eToro. The partnership marks a rare deal for Twitter since Elon Musk took the reins as CEO after buying the platform for $44 billion last year.
What do you guys think about that? Twitter offering crypto purchases and stock purchases. I think, to be honest, that's a good segue for so many people to get into crypto. It's really going to be a big deal.
Musk has made it his mission to turn Twitter into the so-called super app that offers users financial services on top of social media. And Elon Musk really has been on a tear recently. I don't know if you saw this.
Did you guys see this? Actually, this BBC journalist, like this guy is, he made himself look like a complete moron. I don't know if you guys saw the actual interview, but they show a little bit here.
BBC journalist says there's been a rise of hateful content on Twitter. Elon Musk says, give me an example. Journalist says, I can't. Elon Musk says, well, you just lied.
You just lied. What hate speech are you talking about? You use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
Personally, I get more of that kind of content, yeah, personally.
Content you don't like, or describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this content may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying...
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content. I'm asking for specific examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use... honestly, I
you
don't...
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that feed anymore, because I just don't...
No, it's because he's talking out of his ass.
You like it.
Well, hang on a second. You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one. Then I say so that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false.
No, what I claimed...
You just lied.
So the details are as follows. Starting Thursday,
that guy was a complete moron. I'm sorry. That guy was a complete moron in that interview and was very unprepared for his questions.
Feature will be rolled out on the Twitter app. It will allow users to view market charts on an expanded range of financial instruments and buy and sell stocks and other assets from eToro.
So I don't think, all right, so the confusion people were thinking about, like, you know, Twitter integrating crypto and stocks, obviously everything's going to be going through eToro. So it's probably just going to be like a link that kind of directs you towards eToro. If I had to guess, I don't exactly know how they're going to do it, but overall it's going to be like a normal exchange. It's not like Twitter's going to be changing the way things work, right? It's just going to be like a add-on to the side. That's what I gather anyways from this. So
eToro partnership, Twitter cash tags will be expanded to cover far more instruments and asset classes. You'll be able to click a button that says View on eToro, which takes you through to eToro's site, and then you'll be able to buy and sell assets on the platform. Is this partnership better for eToro or better for Twitter, or better for the users of Twitter and eToro? Crypto expert, investor, and trader Scott Melker gives us his opinion.
Twitter is going to give users the option to buy and sell stocks and other assets from eToro. What does that mean for Twitter and eToro? And how do you think the community is going to interpret this?
Well, I think it's big for both, but honestly, I think it's bigger for eToro than Twitter, obviously. This is effectively giving them a huge marketing funnel and audience. And at the end of the day, even if you can check the charts and look at the data and trade, quote unquote, through Twitter, my assumption is that you'll still have to sign up for eToro do KYC on eToro to make sure it's compliant. Otherwise, there's no way that the SEC would allow something like this to happen. So to me, this is effectively a marketing funnel and just a way for eToro to open up their floodgates to new traders. I think
he's on point.
It's a net positive, certainly for both platforms and for the markets in general. I mean, eToro was founded by Yoni Asia, a Bitcoiner. He was the first person to really create almost altcoins called colored coins on Bitcoin. So the crypto community has a deep sort of relationship with eToro, and I think obviously with Twitter. And so it's a perfect marriage for that community on Twitter.
We reported this to you yesterday. Ethereum Shanghai Upgrade is now live. This marks another major upgrade for Ethereum, now a feather in Ethereum's cap. And this upgrade literally means that staked Ethereum withdrawals are now enabled on Ethereum. Ethereum, on its greater development scale, Vitalik Buterin, the creator, had this to say: "We're in the stage where the hardest and fastest parts of the Ethereum protocol's transition are basically over. Very significant things still need to be done, but those are very significant things that can safely be done at a slower pace." Ethereum has upgraded so much in the past few years with the merge, with everything, that Vitalik actually says Ethereum can 100% be considered finished at the end of 2023, but they're not going to stop there because 500 million users are on their way to Ethereum and they're preparing for this.
When can we call Ethereum done, if we really have to call it done? End of 2023. 2023 is going to be the year when rollups really come to maturity. We have 4844 that gives rollups more space, and we have the trading wheels on rollups that really get weakened a lot. That kind of gets us to like most of sharding being finished, and then rollups going fully trustless, and then there's full dank sharding. For me personally, I think after the changes, that would be the first point where I would feel comfortable saying, even if nothing else happens past that point, I would be happy with Ethereum. If we need to, we can stop there. We're not going to stop there, right? And we want to kind of like go ahead and try to actually make sure that the Ethereum ecosystem gets support 500 million users before the bull where 500 million users are knocking on the door actually ends up happening. That's probably the next part of the future, the transition from Ethereum as this kind of very theoretical ecosystem that's still discovering and finding itself, to Ethereum as an ecosystem that actually is, tries to be useful and usable and, secure and all of those things, and like actually provide value for hundreds of millions of people.
In other news,
yeah, he's definitely an alien. Mr. B-Lubs in the chat. Anyways, what do you guys think, honestly, about Ethereum? Put it in the chat. Do you guys think it's going to go or like much higher? Do you think it's going to get into the 10,000 region at some point in its future? It doesn't have to be like tomorrow or this year or next year, just in general. Do you guys think it actually has a good outlook, or are you guys just F Ethereum all around? Because most of us are miners, right? But at the end of the day, I do think Ethereum's going to do fairly well at the end of the day. So all right, let's continue.
Top-tier camera company Canon is launching an Ethereum photo NFT marketplace called Cadabra.
Really? Mr. Renato said 25K easy. Interesting. B-Lubs 10,000 ETH. Yeah, I think I don't think 10,000 is actually unheard of or out of the realm of possibilities, right?
Camera and digital image giant is pushing further into Web3 with a dedicated NFT photography platform. We say pushing further because you remember that Canon previously launched a series of photo NFTs on Solana in July of 2022 in collaboration with Immutable Image. Well, today, Canon USA, the American division of the global camera and imaging giant, announced today that it will launch an Ethereum NFT marketplace dedicated to photography later this year, dipping further into the Web3 world after an NFT drop in 2022. As just mentioned, Cadabra, described as a curated marketplace for tokenized photographs, is set to roll out in 2023 following an initial preview at this week's NFT NYC conference. According to a press release, the marketplace will offer photos across various categories, including wildlife, sports, lifestyle, landscapes, among others. Cryptocurrency will boom again, my friends. If you can't see it, hey, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we update you on this stuff on a daily basis. The news today is this: Uniswap Wallet, the top
What? I didn't see this. I must have been doing something while I was listening to this part.
Decentralized exchange on Ethereum has finally been allowed to be a part of the App Store on iOS. This is big. Uniswap Labs was fighting for this for so long. Apple wouldn't let them be a part of the App Store. Finally, it's happened. The new Uniswap wallet has officially arrived on iOS following the previously documented challenges earning Apple's approval. Moreover, the open-source mobile wallet will allow users to trade Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism. The development is undoubtedly a positive one for both Uniswap and the industry as a whole, specifically with the worldwide adoption of iOS technology. A crypto wallet integration could bring a host of prospective new users to the space. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency needs to be strategically embraced by the United States, not denied. Bitcoin is a technology that should be embraced. Bitcoin does not threaten the US dollar. Natalie Brunell on Fox Business explains this.
Some people are saying it's a threat to the dollar, but it's not. What people really need to realize is Bitcoin is a form of property. It is a store of value like real estate and like gold. And our country was built on the value of securing property rights. That's core to our democracy. And I think what's happening lately that's shaking people's confidence is Bitcoin is really being used as an excuse by people in power who have been creating policies that do affect the US dollar and hurt the dollar. It's their excuse to not address those policies, and Bitcoin is used as this invisibility cloak. And I want people to think about something. If Bitcoin ceased to exist tomorrow, poof, it's gone. Elizabeth Warren, super happy. The US dollar is still headed in the same direction. Every fiat currency has failed. We are in a debt-based system because we continue to go further and further into debt. And the world is deciding that we're moving from a unipolar world to a multipolar world. And countries are saying we don't want the world's reserves to be in one currency that can be weaponized because the U.S. keeps spending on itself and issuing these paper promises. So I'm actually going to D.C. in 2 weeks with the message that Bitcoin needs to be embraced by the U.S. strategically now more.
Real quick, down at the bottom, you guys see it says survey 75% of Americans not confident in crypto. I mean, they also say that like less than 1% or some BS of people actually pay taxes on their crypto, which is probably false too, right? 70 to 80% of all statistics are false. So yeah, take
more
that with
than
a grain of
ever
salt.
because we have a technology network impervious to attack and hacking. The U.S. dominates the mining industry right now. Bitcoin allows us to securely transfer value across the internet. So why would we throw that away when the future of the economy is in cyberspace and also the future of warfare is in cyberspace?
Get your tickets to Bitcoin 2023 Miami, May
anybody going to
18th
that?
through 20th.
Is anybody doing this May 18th through 20th? I know Mr. DJ Mines went to this one time, but he said it was like stupid expensive.
Miami Beach this year. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. This is the biggest Bitcoin conference of the year. Ticket prices continue to increase as we get closer to the event. Use code Altcoin Daily, 10% off. Get your tickets now. Altcoin season is coming, baby. First Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then large caps, then alt season. Scott Melker explains this.
Bitcoin has what's called the halving every roughly 4 years, and that's when the new supply coming onto the market is effectively cut in half. So if you even have a basic understanding of supply and demand, if demand stays the same or even decreases slightly or goes up with reduced supply, obviously you're going to see price rise. And we've seen that with every single cycle, and we've seen price bottoming, a couple years into that cycle before chopping sideways and moving up. And that bottom that we saw from FTX in November and sort of the move up has followed that exact cycle that we've seen in every previous market. And once Bitcoin starts to move up, you gain renewed confidence in the market, you get a bit more liquidity, and then that starts pouring down into other coins like Ethereum and then farther down the risk curve. So basically every time you see Bitcoin move up and consolidate, it goes into altcoins, back into Bitcoin, all the way up. It's effectively a washing machine. But, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And there's no reason right now to assume that this time will be different.
Make sure
Insane. Go check out Altcoin Daily. Shout out to them for this video. But damn, I don't know. When the Bitcoin halving shows up, right, it's going to go from 6.25, right, to what is it, like 3.125? That is, I wonder how hard it's going to push the market up. Right, supply and demand, like 3 Bitcoin, that's it per block. That number is so low. It's just crazy, right? Like thinking about it. How high do you guys think Bitcoin will actually go? Obviously speculative. Don't have to give me exact what you guys think, but all right, let's continue. So we have right here, this is a crypto exchange. Bitrue suffers 23 million hack due to a hot wallet exploit. I don't know. I've never even heard of this place. Have you guys heard of this? Have you guys used this crypto exchange Bitrue? Just put a 1 in the chat if you have, or 2 if not, I guess. Bitrue executives promise to fully compensate all the identified users affected by the hot wallet hack that accounted for 5% of all funds on the exchange. Yeah, I don't even know where this exchange is. I've never even heard of it. BitTrue. I don't even think I've ever seen the logo. Insane. All right, yeah. Sounds like a lot of you guys haven't either. Does eToro have its own coin? I don't know. I can look that up in just a second, actually. I do want to see. I don't even think this is relevant because nobody's really heard of this. So if anybody wants me to read this, let me know. Retro Mike. Oh, you're my favorite troll. Love you. Love you, buddy. All right, let's see, right? So we have CNBC. Let's see what they got to say today. If this would go on the right screen. All right, let's see. So Ether crosses 2,000 and Twitter teams up with eToro for crypto trading. CNBC Crypto World. I'd like to see what they have to say. So let's get into this. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat again. And yeah, let's do it.
Today, Ether surges after the completion of the Shanghai Upgrade. Elon Musk takes his next steps in turning Twitter into the everything app, adding crypto trading. And Fred Thiel of Marathon Digital discusses renewed scrutiny on crypto's energy use, just as Texas state lawmakers advance new restrictions on mining. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto markets getting a boost after the completion of Ethereum's Shanghai Upgrade. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin was back above $30,000, while Ether jumped to $2,000 for the first time since August. Dogecoin also rallying this morning, all because of Elon Musk. Once again, that token traded around 8 cents. Okay, let's talk about the top stories, and we'll start with the latest crypto-friendly move from Twitter and Elon Musk. Starting today, Twitter will let users access stocks, crypto, and other assets through a partnership with eToro. The company told
I'm going to check to see if eToro has their own coin. I doubt it, though.
CNBC exclusively that the feature will be rolled out through the Twitter app, and users can view expanded financial data on those assets. eToro said the sale will happen through a button that says View on eToro, which will take users to the investment platform to complete the transaction. The move does seem to fit into Elon Musk's vision of creating a super app out of Twitter, sort of like WeChat, where users can do nearly anything on it through a wide range of services. Next, let's talk about the other big story, the Shanghai Upgrade. According to Ethereum developers, the latest upgrade to the platform has been finalized. It lets users withdraw staked ETH that had been locked on the platform, and according to Nansen, roughly 0.4% of staked ETH has been sold since the upgrade. Overall, the amount of ETH being staked on the platform is outpacing the amount being withdrawn and entering the marketplace, which is good news for the price of Ether. And finally, a bill by Texas state lawmakers to cut incentives for Bitcoin miners is moving forward. The Senate passed the measure, which would put a cap on the amount of Bitcoin miners could get paid to cut energy use during periods of high demand. The bill would also slash tax cuts for these projects. It's a surprising move for a state that prided itself on its friendliness toward crypto companies and crypto miners specifically, and now heads to the House for another vote.
Oh, damn.
All right, let's talk more about sentiment around crypto mining for our main story.
Real quick, any of you guys in Texas, possibly, that would have to deal with that? And I don't think that eToro has its own coin, by the way. I can't find anything. If you guys know better than me, please let me know. Also, hit that like button. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. All right, let's go.
Crypto World's Mackenzie Sigalo spoke to Fred Thiel, the CEO of Marathon Digital Holdings, about the state of the industry and to get his take on a fresh report from the New York Times that examined the sheer size of some of these mining facilities and just how much energy the industry is using.
You have new legislation from Texas that's seen as anti-mining, also new reporting from the New York Times, taking a closer look at this proof of work consensus mechanism. Walk me through the arguments being made and your response to that.
So I think, the New York Times has taken a position that energy is a zero-sum game. If somebody's using renewable energy, then a consumer has to then use fossil fuel energy, there's this fixed amount of energy available. And that's not the truth. When you look at the energy markets today, the US actually has excess generating capacity. And the way energy markets work is, nuclear energy is at the bottom, then comes coal, then comes natural gas, and last of all comes solar and wind. So renewable energy is the first energy to be turned off by the grid when it doesn't need it, and the last to be turned on. So you need to create an economic incentive for renewable energy providers to build more renewable energy. The problem is the sun only shines from late morning to early afternoon, and the wind blows in the afternoon, and most energy in this country is consumed 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Bitcoin miners have this unique ability to, when the grid needs the energy, shut off their operations and provide that energy to the grid. So it's not ever the case that a Bitcoin miner is taking energy that a consumer otherwise would use, because renewable energy is always going to be the first that's shut off. You can't turn up and down a nuclear power plant. You can't turn up and down a coal-fired plant very easily. The only plants you can do that with are peaker plants that are primarily natural gas, and then solar and wind are what you buffer with at the end. And until there's enough battery storage in the US at utility scale to act as a buffer, Bitcoin miners are the ideal buffer.
And in terms of this mining legislation in Texas, I've spoken to a lot of people who felt blindsided by the proposed set of rule changes here. And when you think about it, when there was this mass migration of miners out of China, a lot of people headed to Texas, spent a lot of money building up infrastructure there. So what's the temperature in the industry right now? How are people feeling about these proposed rules and what the ramifications might be if it is passed?
Sure. So I think, there are two core aspects to 1751, which is the state bill. One has to do with ancillary services revenues and capping miners' participation in that to 10%. And the other has to do with tax abatements for data centers and eliminating Bitcoin miners' ability to benefit from that. So this is another instance where a very narrow industry is being targeted, even though it doesn't act differently than other industries. Bitcoin mining and data centers are essentially one and the same thing. A bunch of computers using energy, processing data. That's what Bitcoin miners do. We're not digging in the ground. We're not causing all this pollution. We do the exact same thing an AWS data center does, only at lower cost and more efficiently.
Did you hear how he said we're, which means he's obviously mining?
So why target specifically Bitcoin miners? Well, in the case of ancillary services, this is essentially where a company signs up with ERCOT to allow ERCOT to control their load, and they get paid when they shed their load, meaning they give up their energy that they would otherwise have been consuming
That sounds so
to
wrong.
the grid. So who else participates in this service? Because ERCOT only needs a certain amount of ancillary services contributors. And Bitcoin miners have this fabulous ability to, in 10 minutes, shut down their load. And when the grid doesn't need the energy, they can come right back up. Other companies like food processors, steel mills, et cetera, can't do that, because if you do it in a steel mill, your steel is going to sit and solidify. So you can't do it. If you look at the companies that used to participate or used to dominate the ancillary services revenues, when Bitcoin miners came on the market in Texas, they all of a sudden started competing with these legacy companies for these ancillary services, because from ERCOT's perspective, Bitcoin miners are more efficient at shedding load. And so this is simply a way for people who were benefiting from ancillary services before to limit artificially Bitcoin miners from participating. So you're, again, targeting an industry because another industry feels they're losing out on something.
Well, it seems like no matter where Bitcoin miners are going, they become the target of new legislation. You have China banning the industry, and a lot of miners shifted to Kazakhstan, and then you saw new rules and regulations around the mining industry there. And there's been this ripple effect in the United States, where now the epicenter, now that a lot of the network is centralized here in terms of mining, and you have to wonder, the legislators got wise to the fact that this business makes a lot of money, and it's either you cut down on it or you get a cut of it through taxation. So, is this just an inevitable outcome no matter where the industry migrates? And do you think that the U.S. remains where a lot of this hash rate is centralized, or do you see that shifting as more and more regulation like this crops up?
So recent reports say that Russia is the number 2 largest nation from a perspective of Bitcoin mining. That's scary. When China had over 51%, had the government in China taken control of the Bitcoin miners, they could have done things to damage the security of the Bitcoin mining network. I don't think the US is particularly interested in having nations that it doesn't happen to agree with get too large of a share of the Bitcoin mining network, because at the end of the day, what the US should want to do is make Bitcoin and digital asset technologies open and available to everybody. And they should put forth regulation and laws that allow them to do that. Otherwise, Bitcoin mining and digital asset companies will leave the US. The US was very successful with the internet and being a dominant and leading player in the development of the internet. I think the US is about to lose that with digital assets. Countries like the UK, the EU, Singapore have put forth great legislation around digital assets. In Germany today, you can go and create a digital fractional ownership of a piece of real estate, of anything. They have securities laws that allow you to do that. Germany being one of the most conservative European countries, by the way. The EU has the MiCA legislation. The UK is open for digital asset companies. The US is closing the door. Why? You could take one extreme and say this is a repeat of 1933 when, the US government decided that people were putting their money in gold instead of savings bonds and government bonds. And so they prohibited US citizens from owning and holding gold. Is this the beginning of capital controls? The US dollar was weaponized in this Ukraine conflict. Is it now being subjugated by China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, other nations moving off the dollar standard? Is this the first step of government capital controls? Who knows? I hope it's not. I hope that this is just simply members of Capitol Hill and legislators who are lashing back at some of the excesses that companies like FTX, Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, et cetera, had, and how consumers were harmed. And they're just doing a pendulum swing, kind of whack-a-mole attack that, hopefully will come back more to something more moderate and more measured in the future. But, it's hard because not a lot of people in government really understand digital assets.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today, but we'll be back again tomorrow.
Interesting. That is CNBC Crypto World. If you guys are interested, go check them out. So shout out to them. All right, let's see. What else we got? You guys have any questions in the chat, please feel free to ask. Nerd Beast, I can only like it once, CCXD. What else do you want me to do? Oh, the like button. Appreciate you for hitting it. I was like, what are you talking about? All right, let me get rid of this. Let's see. What was I looking at? All right, so this is what Mr. I don't even remember who said this in the chat, actually. Is it Carl? Carl Coat? Am I wrong? I apologize. But somebody wanted me to look this up. Montana right to mine. Crypto bill passes the House. I don't know if you guys saw this. This was yesterday. The legislation had already passed in the Senate in February and will now make it to the table of Governor Greg Gianforte. I don't even know if that's how you say that. No idea. It says the bill seeking to enshrine crypto miners' rights in the United States of Montana successfully passed the third reading in the state's House of Representatives. Now the only thing required is to become law is the governor's signature. I believe we read this yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. It says the legislation aims to establish a digital asset mining right and forbid any discriminatory electricity rates charged to cryptocurrency miners. Additionally, it seeks to safeguard mining operations that take place at home and remove the authority of local governments to utilize zoning laws to impede crypto mining activities. The bill also bars any extra taxes on using cryptocurrency as means of payment. It categorizes digital assets comprising cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and non-fungible tokens as personal property. So that's that's things going in the right direction, right? Can't complain there. Things going in the right direction. Man, this market's looking crazy though. I wonder if this is going to hold through the weekend. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? All right, feel free to ask some questions in the chat. I'm going to see if we can get up one more quick video from Mr. Crypto Love. He's a trader on YouTube, and he's saying Bitcoin, it's a trap. So I kind of want to see, this is 23 hours ago where he did some charts, and he kind of goes over some stuff with Twitter. He sees what other traders are doing and stuff. So he kind of sums up a whole bunch of stuff in 6 minutes, which is kind of cool. So huge shout out to him. We're going to check out his video, but if you guys have any questions during or right now, feel free, just at me in the chat and we can pause this. Let's see. Yeah, some people are saying fake out. It could be. I mean, it could be a fake out. I'm not a trader, so I guess we'll just we'll have to see. Let's get into this video though, real quick.
Boom shakalaka.
He starts that every time. Boom shakalaka. Every time. All right, I'm going to skip forward past his intro. All right, let's see what he has to say.
Putting Bitcoin about to reach its mid-cycle top and how soon it could hit $1 million. Before we get into it, guys, Make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Come join us on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove. Push that like button. And today, Fear and Greed Index at 61, down from yesterday, a little bit less greedy. The overall market sideways, up just a tick. Bitcoin at $30,200, Ethereum at 1981, BNB at 322, XRP 51 cents, Cardano 41 cents, Dogecoin 8 cents, Polygon $1.13, and Solana 24.15. And if you want any top coins today based on artificial intelligence, we have Anchor Network, Volt Inu, Ocean Protocol, Ren, and IoTex. And if you want to use AI to pick out your favorite coins, even on shorter time frames, you can check out Token Metrics free trial down in the description. Now, Bitcoin today, after breaking out of this diamond pattern we had back here, found a bit of resistance at $30,000. But there is this wedge right here. Generally, these break upwards, so Bitcoin is likely to break above $30,000, finding support upon those levels in the near future. That being said, bear market probability model has the highest levels ever. So could an overall bear market actually send Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? It's kind of possible, especially if you take a look at this. So if we take a look right now, even after Bitcoin has nearly doubled in price, 6% of the Bitcoin supply was last moved to $16,000 right up here, this giant candle. It appears the buyers of last resort that bought there are not looking to sell any time soon. This is similar to the previous cycle where we had this very large spike at $3,000 and the one before that at $600 some dollars that were the bottoms. Bitcoin right now, though, we could see a short-term correction coming soon. As the RSI breaks above the 50 weekly, we can see that as it gets farther and farther away from there, we generally see a midterm top before resuming for a massive run. Right now, we're seeing the RSI breaking above the 50 weekly right there and could potentially have a bit of a correction. Where? Well, generally what we see is this Gaussian higher band being somewhat of a magnet, playing an important role in pulling Bitcoin up from underwater. Now, those levels right now, about 42.5. Interestingly enough, this 42.5 is the same level that this inverse head and shoulder predicts Bitcoin would reach, right around that $42,000. So, is that a coincidence? I don't exactly know, but that could potentially be a mid-level high for Bitcoin before it consolidates right now. Now, Bitcoin has entered the green zone, which starts at the end of the peak of DXY. We can see DXY down here on the bottom. The green zone started at the peak. This is also a place for Bitcoin climbing to all-time highs. You can see in these green areas, generally Bitcoin does some nice climbing in price. DXY continuing to break down as well, inversely correlated. As DXY breaks down, Bitcoin generally goes up. Interestingly, the time from the bear market bottom to the old all-time high has increased over time by a factor of 1.26. So you can see here it took X in terms of distance, and for you algebra fans out there, took X times 1.26.
Hold on, my mind's being blown right now. I never thought in a million years I'd be using algebra ever again, especially in real life when it comes to this stuff. That's
X times 1.26 squared. Could this be X by 1.23 cubed for it to reach previous all-time highs, which would put it right before 2025 or right in the beginning of 2025. Interestingly enough, that would be after the halving. But generally, Bitcoin's at the fair value price during the halving, which is $40,000. So I guess that does make a bit of...
That makes a lot of sense. Just because, I mean, Bitcoin doesn't really boom supply and demand, right, until after the halving because it gets cut, you know, in half. So less rewards means higher demand or less to go around, rather, right?
Sense. Who likes Bitcoin moves? Well, if we could have the same type of return from the bottom like we saw here in 2014, 2015, we could see breaking back above there, a little bit of resistance to 32. And then we go all the way up to 48, again, in those 40s, before falling down, finding resistance, and again, breaking up to levels in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And stay tuned to find exactly why, because you never want to underestimate a buy signal in the super trend. You can see the super trend right down here. We have buys, amazing times to buy, and sells, amazing times to sell. Buys, amazing times to buy, sells, amazing times to sell. Well, we have a buy flashing right now. In 5 out of 6 cases throughout the history of Bitcoin, we've always seen extreme price rises in Bitcoin.
What do you guys think about that? That's kind of neat. The super trend has a buy signal right now, which is obviously a good thing.
Thereafter, 5 out of 6 times, it works every time, just like Sex Panther or whatever that stuff is. Now, that being said, again, we could have a mid-cycle top coming soon. With the Bitcoin monthly parabolic SIR mid-cycle tops, generally Bitcoin has a mid-cycle top that touches this dot. Now this dot right now, somewhere in the $40,000, and you can see that generally once it flips to the bottom, we start to see that mid-cycle top hitting right there. Right now, at the $40,000 level, a mid-cycle top is coming soon. But have no fear, that's a mid-cycle top. We still have the halving year out. We still have the parabolic after halving rally. And if you have a time frame of like a decade or so, this is TechDev's theory on where Bitcoin could end up. This first rally towards $100,000, then dropping down mid-2025, roughly hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $500,000 or more Bitcoin, before roughly leveling out in those areas between $200 and $1.3 million for Bitcoin, and eventually falling down there. But that could be where Bitcoin is being sent in the near future. So if you did enjoy,
maybe. Guys, go check out Crypto Love real quick. Just so you know, this is the countdown for the Bitcoin halving. 1 year and 6 days from now, or 7 days, more or less. We have the next halving for Handshake is the 26th of April. We also have, oh, that's in 12 days. Holy shit. And we have LTC. That's having in 116 days. That's August 8th, supposedly. And then, I mean, you know, BCH, BSV, and Bitcoin. So this could get quite interesting, to say the least. All right, what do you guys got in the chat? Any questions before we wrap up? I got daddy duty stuff to do, so what do you got? Let's see. Oh boy, sorry, didn't mean to like blind everybody. I tried to put on dark mode, but man, that thing screws my whole computer up. Overall, I think the sentiment is pretty bullish in the market, as you guys can see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, let's see. Let me pull up the chat again. Mr. Crypto 440. Why is there not a marketplace where you can buy, sell items and cars for crypto? Maybe I'm dumb and there is one. I don't think there is one. It would have to be like an off, like, exchange between you and the other person, right? Like a Craigslist type deal, just like a side deal, I guess. I don't think there's any place that could do that. Is there? Does anybody know, actually? All right, I actually put a poll in the chat. Bitcoin price halving. Where do you guys think it's going to be around the halving or after the halving, right? So 20 to 50K, 50K to 100K, so 48%. 20 to 50 was 22%, and 100K plus was 30%. So very interesting to see what you guys think. I think 100K is going to be really tough to break, but once it breaks, it's gonna shoot. Dr. Electronics, have a good day, buddy. Appreciate you. Get Litecoin card and pay everything in Litecoin. Litecoin, I honestly think, is going to be amazing. I mean, every place takes Litecoin, right? It's the silver to Bitcoin's gold. That's the way I look at it, but I guess we'll have to see. Carl Coe, you planning on buying any GPUs? Unfortunately, no. I do actually want to try to jump into Joker Miners 4070 today to do a video, though, if I can. That'd be amazing. I think he's going to set that up. 69K, the end of next January. Really? Think so? Next January. Okay. So before the halving? Interesting. LTC is so blah. Why LTC? More info. Why LTC? Well, for one, cheap transactions. It's super fast. And it's relatively, I mean, every place takes it. Like any place that you could pay something in crypto, it's always Bitcoin, Litecoin. Like it's always that way. I haven't seen any place that doesn't take Litecoin that takes crypto. So, you know, once people jump on the Bitcoin bandwagon, I think LTC is going to start taking off. And then let's see what is, I mean, that obviously nothing's financial advice, but it's just my opinion. And like, look, right? Like, look at these miners, okay? Like, these miners right here are still top of the charts, right? Top profitability, right? This is 10 cents a kilowatt hour, but even if you're at 17 cents, you're still making almost 10 bucks a day on this Antminer L7. And they're only going to go for more. I mean, dude, like if you can get a friggin' L7, 4,600 bucks, not financial advice, that's a steal. That's a steal. These things are going for 25K in the bull run. When the bull run comes back, what do you think it's going to go for? And then also on top of that, what's going to happen to the price when the halving happens, right? typically it's gonna skyrocket, but who knows? Well, I wouldn't say skyrocket, but regardless, I don't think it's gonna go, you know, insanely low. Again, not financial advice, just my opinion, but you guys let me know what you think. Anyways, I managed to snap 4 L7s to 4,600. No way. Ahmed, good for you. Holy shit, that's awesome. It's amazing. I really do. A little stanky though, for real. Every place that takes crypto takes Litecoin. In Litecoin, it's, if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever transacted in Litecoin, but Litecoin payments, sending it to an exchange to, like, if you say you got to pay out in Litecoin and you're like, okay, I want to sell it immediately, you could send it and like out to your bank account in literally like a couple minutes. It's insane how fast Litecoin is. So I really do think Litecoin will be adopted a lot further and very fast once Bitcoin is. That's why I'm bullish on Nexa. I mean, Nexa, yeah, it's cool, but they're all right. So like these new coins, I love them all. Nothing against any coin, right? Like all coins, whatever. Coin lives matter, right? But at the end of the day, all these new coins, they are going to need so much adoption. It's not even funny. Like if Bitcoin and Litecoin can't get mainstream adoption, I highly doubt these other coins are going to get it anytime soon. It's going to be years away, tens, you know, I don't know, decades away. I don't think it's going to pop like everybody thinks. But I mean, not to say there's no gains in it. I just don't think it's going to turn into like a payment system for buying shit or whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Yes, LTC is the silver to the gold BTC, and that's exactly how I think. I mean, that's how I learned it actually. When I got into the space, it was Bitcoin and Litecoin, and then Ethereum kind of just like, you know, weaseled its way in between them and took the second, you know, and just climbed like crazy. It was insane. Let's see, but I mean, Ethereum does have a you know, they're an entire like everything runs on that network, you know, or a lot of things do anyways. So Ethereum has different reasons to pump. It's not gonna pop, it will explode. B-Lubs, I hope you're right, because I have some. I don't have a lot, but I think I have 1 million Nexa somewhere. I probably have to find that wallet if it pops. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll try to be back later on today around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if possible, but either way, have a happy Friday if I am not here, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning regardless. So have a good day. Happy Friday. Peace out.
you